Oh, just sick. Nice sinus infection from the world, but I'm good.
Appreciate you. You don't even sound it. You sound horrible, man. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you showing up for work. All right. So listing class. So listings are off by 50%. Total listings. What that means is listings are twice as competitive to previous years, which means we need to wake up and be great. What that means is that we can't miss opportunities that are in front of us when we come across them. Michael Shimano, what exactly am I talking about? We're talking about listings. How am I, what is the key to getting listings?
Appointments.
Yes. Brandon, you want to help him out? What's before the appointment? Brandon Vaccaro? Kimberly Childs, if he can't talk? What am I talking about? What is the thing that happens before the
CMA.
appointment? What?
The CMA.
High five, girl. Thank you. Right? Yes. Because when they walk into your open house, you're gonna, hey, can I come over? Usually they're gonna say something else. Your job is to identify them as a prospect for yourself, because if you don't send somebody a CMA, you forget to call them. Does that make sense? And that's the challenge with it, is because we have too many casual conversations that are opportunities that we miss because we don't deliver a CMA, which in my mind, a CMA kicks off the listing appointment process. And that's the way we have to think about it, is when I meet somebody, my goal is to identify, do they own a house? Number one. That's called, during that conversation, when you're in that open house, it's your job to qualify. Qualify with better questions. Why I give the 5 questions is those are the best 5 questions. They're on the drive. You can look them up. The 5 questions at an open house. The scripts at the open house is to ferret out, which means determine whether they own a house or not. That's your job at the open house. That's your job whenever you meet somebody at a new lead appointment, off of a Zillow lead, off of you go to lunch with somebody, you go to your grandma's silver party. Everybody you meet is a conversation about you understanding, do they own a house and are they going to sell it? But own a house first in the process is, it's meaning, can I look them up in like I have to be good enough and ask specific questions of like, oh, well, tell what neighborhood do you live in, right? Like however that goes, you have to be able to be good enough at monsoon. So maybe you have to work on your monsoon skills or your MLS skills, because we could find, Phil and I could find, sorry, I'm just excited. The Suns won last night. I met a girl that I like, life is just good, okay? She's really smart, it's kind of exciting. But I'm being serious because I want you guys to be great. And the way that you're great is you win every conversation. You're qualifying. Do they own a house? Do they own? Are they listed? Are they listed? Or do they want, when will they sell? When, why do I say when, Clay? Shimano. At least Faye, why am I saying when will they sell?
I just jumped in because that determines your next move. I don't know.
Yes, all right, you're new to the call. Kimberly, let's go for 2 in a row. Why do I say when will they sell? When they own a house, why do I say when will they sell? Because every house gets sold at some point. Now, there's some houses that have been with families, especially rich families, forever. But that's not normal. Meaning, when they die, that house will be sold. I want a fucking CMA packet in the drawer, so I get a fucking phone call from the people, the brothers and sisters I don't know. Each year, I would sell 20 or 30 houses from people because they just found the fucking packet in the drawer. Oh, well, and I put a little note on it, and if the note stayed with it, hey, Charlie, I'm trying to come over. It looks like we have a relationship. They're forced to call you. Now you just need to set the appointment. But that's the whole idea of the CMA is it's the mindset of abundance, And what everybody needs is more listing appointments. That means every conversation you should be qualifying them. Do they own a house and when will they sell? If he's 95, you're like, I better get the CMA over there right away. Right. Like maybe I should just go sit in this living room for a while, right? Meaning we sell houses for a living. That is our job. When we want to execute it well, we need to have more conversations about with people that own houses. Open houses are great for that. Leads are great for that. Events, at least throws an event. All those people own houses, but you got to confirm, meaning that you have to ask each of those people because they don't tell you they're going to sell. Their goal is to not tell you, and your goal is to penetrate that. Oh, we're not moving. Oh, right. Give me the excuses. What are the excuses you hear?
Oh, we have a low interest rate. We're not ever selling this house.
Right. When it starts dropping, they're going to sell. Right? If it does, if the market, maybe the market goes up from here, but eventually it will go down. And when it goes down, they don't think it's going to go down. So that's why they're not going to sell. But once it starts dropping in value, but your job is not to care when they will sell. It's the goal is for you to get folders in as many people's houses as possible, right? Because, I mean, the house Clay got listing, you dropped off that CMA in 16, Clay, for Healy? 2017, something like that. It was, right? He drops off a CMA, has a great conversation with them. They call him 6 months later. Normal. That's what we wanted. But it's because when we met them, he qualified them because at the open house, the neighbors come. Those are called seller leads. And they all need to get CMAs if we're having conversations and qualifying. Your goal is to, and then you're going to enter them in your database and then you're going to follow up with them, meaning you might need to, because if you don't get their cell phone number, you got to go knock on their door. We have to chase the business in today's world or we are not going to get listings and we have to overcome those objections. Yeah, I'm good. I don't like nothing they can say should stop you from delivering the CMA. Nothing. If you want more listings, and that's what you're here for, is to get more listings. Questions? I'm trying to help you execute the conversation better. Following those, if you don't have the scripts, you go out to the CBOT Drive, use the ones for that I have for the open house, because it narrows the search criteria enough that you can get it down to 1, 2, or 3 people, meaning if the guy's name is Mike Smith, I might have to drop off 3 CMAs because I don't know which Mike it was. But I've done all this work already. They're all going to get them because I want to make sure that I get Mike a CMA. Means I am committed to working every day because my goal in 2013 was how many CMAs, Cody?
100.
I wish I was that good. Yeah. No, I was thinking that I needed to, well, my thing is I don't know what my goal was. So that's an honest answer. 100 was probably close to the number. 100 every month.
Yeah.
100 CMAs a month. Because I have a mindset of abundance. Because the possibilities, because you could conceivably, if you just sat open houses every day, could you get to 200? You could.
Yeah.
Right? So don't cap your expectations of the amount of work. Like you're here to win. And the way we win is by meeting people that own houses, dropping off CMAs, and then 6 months, I don't have the reason I want the cell phone number, not the email, is so that I can follow up with them, but it's a soft follow-up. If you want to know, go over and knock on their door. Hey, you know what? Where do you think you're going to move to? Don't ask them, are they going to sell? So whenever you decide to sell, where will you move next? You know how people like to think about where they're going to move when they retire? Is that true or not true? Right. The way you get people excited by moving is, it's a question. We're going to poll the audience. Should we be talking about them when they're going to sell? Or should we be talking about them where they're going to buy? Okay, who in the camp thinks that when we get a CMA that we should be talking to them about when they're going to sell or about where they're going to buy? Because usually when you sell, you buy. Or if it's a death or a second home, you don't. But the point of it is you still want to either start, because once you get that lead, okay, who thinks we should talk about what they sell or versus what they buy? Kim?
I would say what they're going to buy because it gets them thinking about it and doing it.
So we got a smarty pants. Great job, Kim. Exactly. People are not excited about selling their house. First of all, they bought it. They think it's going to be easy to sell. Are you kidding? I love this house. When you love it, do you think it's going to be a problem to sell it? No, because everybody's going to love it because it's my house. That is what everybody thinks. Stop letting that be your objection. I know they're going to want to list it for 10 or 15 or 40% above what I want. I mean, Sharon just had a listing and she wanted to list it at 1.8. I had to convince her to fucking list it at 2.3 and then she double-sided it. Fact. Unfortunately, we are like, ooh, no, we can't. What they list the house at is not. If you have less than 50 listings, you should not be concerned with anything other than signing contracts, listing contracts. List fucking 50 houses overpriced. Why are you the expert? How do you not going to sell? And this was Chris Karras's mode. In 2018, he listed $327 million worth of houses. He sold 128 million of them, 27% of the houses he listed. But do we think of Chris Karras as being great or did he suck? I saw him last night at the basketball game. Last year he did 300 million. But his path to greatness was taking listings overpriced. Because people don't know whether the house sells or not. The sign goes up, it goes down. They think it's sold every time. Now, of course, some know, but this is the mindset of abundance that we have to have for listings. We have to stop putting rules on who I want to work with. Well, throw all those rules out. Go list more houses. Until you're listing 50 a year, 60 a year, 100 a year, that's when you get to choose. Right? Until you're listing 10 houses a month, why do you care? List the fucking houses. Is it different than it was 10 years ago? That's what the world is today. Everybody fucking lies about the price. You have no chance to win if you're going to be critical. Listings, mindset of abundance. I need more people that own a house that will move soon. And then I'm going to talk to them, like Kimberly said, about, so you're going to downsize next? Would be a question. And then shut up when you knock on the door. Hey, Charlie. Yeah, he came to my house the other day and I was just wondering, I don't think you told me where you wanted to move next. Script, maybe write it down. That when you drop off the CMA, the next day you want to go, because your goal is to talk to that person, not to drop off the CMA. You have to chase it. You know, it was great meeting you the other day, Charlie. You came to the open house. I talked to a lot of people that day. I didn't remember where you wanted to move. Oh, we're not moving. I don't think you're moving. If you were to, are you going to down? I mean, when I'm looking at Charlie, he's about 74. And he's in a 2-story house that's 3,500 square feet with 5 bedrooms. Because I did my research before I went to his house. I kind of looked at the comps a little bit when I pulled the CMA, just a little bit, just understand what the size of the house. I'm just looking at it in monsoon. It's, meaning, does that guy, should he be in that house? He's 74. He's in a 2-story with a pool. So are you thinking, when do you think you want to move to the 1-level, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with no pool? Shut up. That's having conversations, and you're qualifying them because they're going to tell you they don't want to move because they don't want you to bug them. Be aggressive. And he's like, we're not moving, but we looked at some models out in Surprise. Right. Sweet. Now, of course, this is where preview has come in, because now you have a chance. If you can throw out one new home neighborhood, what's called a guess wrong, in this job of you getting it. I'm just talking about trying to convert the CMAs into listing appointments. All right, questions? Got a little excited. We are looking for the winners. Stop being focused on what the losers say. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Your goal is to list houses. We need to find people that when I ask them a question, if they're moving, they're like, we're thinking about going to Sun Lakes. Margaret lives down there and we play bridge with her and whatever. Cool. Well, have you seen anything down there? But I mean, that's a listing appointment. If you guys are great agents. You can figure that out. I'm just trying to give you the courage to what I call tag the prospect. What does that mean, Mo? Mo's sick. Russell, what does that mean? Michael Shimano, what does that mean? Tag the prospect.
So that once you've identified that they're a seller and that they're a seller lead, you have to tag that they own a home so that you can stay on top of it.
You're tagging it for yourself, meaning I'm making a mental note that I need to do something to convert that prospect to a listing appointment. Meaning, because if you don't generate the CMA, do you remember everybody that came to your open house? No, you don't, because you're not executing at the highest level like you would. As Mark Spain told us in 2016, we got to be great. If they give you a business card, it's 3 out of 10. The goal is to be a 10 every time you talk to somebody. And that means that you're going to get contact information. You're going to ask the questions of, What neighborhood do you live in? Does it have a pool? What size is the house? However you ask that, right? Like you're trying to, because you got to drop them off a CMA because you're not going to win it unless you're great. I'm sure Elise, I'm sure Mauricio, I'm sure Shimano, I'm sure Clay, I'm sure all of you have won one or two, but don't sacrifice your approach because you won one or two. The goal is to win 10 a month. That means I have to be great every day. That means I'm going to chase leads. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to be sweet, but I'm going to be aggressive. Right? I'm going to have conversations. I'm going to qualify them, and I'm going to generate a CMA, and then I'm going to go try sell them a house. That's what working in real estate is. All the other shit doesn't matter. It's just called whining. And we like to talk about stuff, about problems, and all of that doesn't help you get more listings. And that when you decide that you want to wake up and be great today and go get 2 CMAs a day, gets you to 60. If you generate 60 CMAs, how many listing appointments you're going to get? And today's maybe 10, maybe 12. It used to be maybe 20. But if you got 10 listing appointments, wouldn't that be better than what you have today? I think that you're going to get at least 5 listing appointments from 60 CMAs. Is that better than you had today? Yes. Right? Like the CMA creates the appointment because you decide, right? Like you went through the work, you looked it up in the tax record, you created the CMA, you dropped it off at their house. That's why I like agents to drop it off, not mail it. I want you to work so that you tag that lead. So you are like, right? It's called a list. In real estate, you have a buyer list and a seller list. If you're driving around in a car, you should have a buyer list of people that you're calling. This is called working, right? Is that when you're doing something else, you're calling because you know those scripts that you have to say and you have your list. But in this case, you're going to create a list of sellers. Let's go here. Why we don't like to sit open houses not near our house. We do if it's for the team once in a while, but I mean, you want to do it around your neighborhood of 3 miles. Why? Why did I start this? I started the year off with this team meeting. And I was telling you that you need to preview houses in your neighborhood within a 3-mile area. Because then you can drive by the house and knock on it. When you're sitting in open house and surprise and you're from Chandler, good luck. Right? You can't do it when they're here. The idea is why you're trying to opportunities. You identify them, you create a list. Okay, CMA 1. This is why you need to write it down. I did a CMA. It's called an Excel spreadsheet. Share screen. Yeah. Do I like to write stuff down? It's whenever you want to be successful, you need to write it down. I learned that in 2013. You will not become super successful until you start writing more down, meaning scripts, meaning my success. So what was I writing down? How many CMAs I dropped off. So this is how many CMAs I dropped off when I wasn't paying attention. Can everybody see that? I made the decision right here that I was going to deliver 50 to 100 CMAs, whatever my goal was. And I was like, oh, okay, how many did I deliver in December and November? Well, I dropped them off Tanya Buhay, Michael, because I was only dropping off the CMAs for the leads that I thought I could win. That's called not having a mindset of abundance. A mindset of abundance is I can win every lead, but what we don't realize is that we lose more deals because we misqualify. We think we're great at qualifying, but until you list 10 houses, you're not great at qualifying. Because if you're great at qualifying, you would be listing 50 houses a month. Because that's how many Mark Spain creates. 50 listings a month they create. Because he's great at qualifying, meaning you got to have a mindset of abundance, and that's what I needed to adopt. When we first started going to Inman, I was like, I don't have a mindset of abundance because I wasn't dropping off CMAs for everybody that owned a house that's not listed. That's who gets a CMA. So the first month we decide 2013, I don't get any. And because I was new at it, the next month, how many did I get? One. What was Jeff Seabach doing? A shitty job at working. He said I wanted listings, but I wasn't committed to it. Thanks, Dakota. I wasn't committed. So the next month I got one out. Shit, why? Because I didn't have scripts. That's why I created the open house scripts, because I was like, I keep saying the wrong things in the open house because nobody wants to work with me because they think I look like Drew Carey. Right? I told Stacey Jeremiak, don't ever hand out business cards. First house she goes to, I hand out 2 business cards. She got 2 appointments. I'm like, fuck you. That's horseshit. Right? Like if I'm not great, I have to execute well. So I start building scripts. So I get out the next month, I get one out, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 CMAs in March. Was that good? Yes, it was good. Why? Because I had 0 in January, and then the next month I had 1 CMA, and the next month I had 4. But this time we had worked on scripts. So what happened the next month? I decided that I was going to wake up and be great every day. And that everything I was going to do was to get more CMAs out. And what happened? I lost more. Right? 1, 2, right? You get the idea. The next month I delivered I buoys the second time. And the point is that if you see here, I dropped off a CMA and then we got an appointment. That's called executing better in the conversation, because I stopped trying to list the house and I started to just trying to identify people that wanted to sell. And then I tried to win those things. I started following up with the people. And already listed with a friend. But the idea is, I got 16 listing appointments. 1 means I went to the house 1 time. 2 means I went to the house 2 times. 3 means I went 3 times. Hope Baker. You know who I competed on Hope Baker's house for? Cammie Beckley. I was against 3 agents. Me against Cammie against someone else. I listed that house in 2017 when they moved to Chandler. And Cammie was pissed, and I was 18. It was 18 because that's the year that Cammie came over. And I'm not picking on Cammie, but my point is because I follow a process, because that CMA lived in their packet, they called me back 5 years later when they wanted to sell. And I sold her house and we got 2 deals. And Cammy was pissed because she was like, I took her to the appointment. When you execute better. But you can see, I had 16 listing appointments. How many did I win? 5, net 4. Because Hope listed and canceled. Meaning, because you always need, if you want to list and sell 7 houses a month, Russell Shaw says you need to list 10 houses a month to sell 7, because there's a 30% cancellation rate because of price. I'm a little fired up this morning. Questions? Now, I'm only gonna answer questions. This is the ball game. Kimberly, how many CMAs are you gonna do in May?
In May. I want to do 40. So on average, maybe 10 a week.
How many did you do last month?
1.
Fuck yeah. That's called courage. 40 from 1, awesome. But be happy if you do 10. Then the next month, you try to do 11. And the next month, you try and do 12.
Oh,
And then
I
you
fill
look-
out the folder. I have it all written up and everything. I don't deliver it. So it's possible.
Hey, that word you just screamed, I need an assistant, is what I heard you say out loud for the fucking 50th time. We'll be working on that with you personally. Okay, how many did you prepare this month that you didn't deliver? 10? Oh, I love you. I love you. Great job, Kim. So you're having the conversation, you're just not executing to the level you need to get to the greatness that you have. I told you you were a warrior. Did I not? Does a warrior, I mean, does I always think football, I don't know why. Does Bill Belichick in the second half of the Super Bowl against Atlanta? I'm sorry. Yeah, in 2017, we're down 21. We'll just give up. That's not you, you're a warrior, Kimberly. Warriors finished the deal. Deliver those CMAs today.
I'm gonna write that on a Post-it and put it on my mirror.
Fuck yeah. Right, but the thing is we're working. We have to execute at the highest level, because work that doesn't lead to a result is wasted time. God, that hurts. Right? When you do CMAs, now, do you still win some of them? I'm sure you did because you're great, Kimberly. But the point of it is that how you're going to get to 10 listings a month is you got to do 40 CMAs and you're struggling getting them out the door. You got to figure out a process. We got to work through that. Russell, how many CMAs are you going to do in May? Hit the space bar to talk. Hold it down. 5, 4, 3. I have goosebumps every time you're around. Okay, Clay, CMAs. Now Clay is a full-time job, so his numbers should be lower. What's your number, Clay?
It says it's unmuting, but then it went.
Yeah. Did you text it in? Did you look in the chat? Did he text it in? Yeah, there's 2 in the chat. Okay. Mo Man,
25.
nice. Brandon,
Please say 10.
attaboy Clay, 10. Brandon, how many CMAs are you gonna do in May? I'm giving you 11 days to get your shit straight. 15, attaboy. Cody,
I'm gonna say 30, one a day.
attaboy, right? Remember, it has to be a number that you have a chance of attaining. Because I don't want that, if you get 17, that's still winning. Know that if you did, last month you did 0, as long as you do at least 1, it's just the next month you have to do 2. And I want you to do it more because I know you're having opportunity in open houses, meaning if you did 1 this month, at least get 6 or 8 out on that number. But Lisa, how many? Great. She's new. She's moving out of staging into being a CBOC team agent. Mo got 25. Did I miss anybody? Shimono. How many CMAs? 20?
5 a week.
You understand that the only thing between you and reaching your goal at CMAs is a 6-letter word. Does anyone know what it is? It's effort. EFFORT. You have the scripts from the open, if you pull up the open house document, the 5 scripts that you have to use is on there. It's about page 2 or page 3 if you don't know. But 1 level, 2 level pool, right? You're at, the key question is how long have you owned it? Because in the open house, if you ask them, you can then go back to that neighborhood and there's only gonna be 4 sales. So you can pull up a range in Monsoon. If they say I bought it 10 years ago, they usually bought it longer than they think they've bought it. That's just generally. If they say, I don't know, 5 years ago, it was probably, I would do 4 years ago to 9 years ago. Because you're looking in that neighborhood and now you have, it's a 1 level, it doesn't have a pool, it's bigger or smaller than the house that I'm sitting in, so now I know the square footage size. And I have that, like, it just allows you to name, and then as long as you collected their first name, CMA. It's executing better every time I have a conversation to qualify them and to get that, when that kicks off the process, now you gotta chase it. Right, first we need opportunities, which is tagging the lead. And then we're gonna chase that and we're gonna talk to them about where they want, what, so you're gonna down, like, I don't care when you move. That was my favorite thing. I don't care if it takes you 100 years to move. You will sell your house and I will sell it then. Let's just start now. Where are you gonna go next? Because that's what we talk to people about. Where do you want to move to? Even if they like say, oh, well, I want to move to Hawaii. Me too. Like Maui, what do you do? Like Hawaii would like. They don't want to tell you. Your job is to find out where they. Everybody wants to move. Even the 3%ers, they want to move. Their house sucks. They've been sitting in those houses a long time. They just say what they know that will make you go away. Your job is to get them a CMA and then follow up with them. All right, so then I'm only going to follow up with you every 6 months. Oh, you don't need to follow up. I know. But I want to win. I want listing appointments. So I know you're going to move, right? If you know they're going to move, you're going to touch base with them once every month or once every 3 months or once every year. If they're like, we just bought the house and, you know, my grandkids live next door and, okay, cool. I'll check in with you next year. A 1-year check-in is the least amount of time you want. If you drop off a CMA, you want to touch them at least with a phone call or a door knock once a year. Right? That's why at the beginning of the year, we say, we send out that blast text. Are you consider moving? Because it's a soft question of, okay, this is the year they're gonna move. Create that list. And then you're gonna work those leads. Questions? All right, get out there. All right, so your reward is reaching your goal. So you can do this. Be a warrior. Like Emmy. Yeah, baby. Go kick ass, man. This is what it's about. Show up and be great. Show up and be great every single time. Thank you. Happy Wednesday.
Thanks, Jeff.